Hello, my name is Nujum. Today we are going to be reviewing some new cards from the League of Explorers. I'm really not used to saying League of Explorers. There's just something about the phrase that it's too close to League of Legends, man. I'm telling you. Anyways, yeah. League of Explorers came out. We're gonna have 3 videos this week. I think I'm gonna go for 22 unless I just get bored. I don't know. Let's get started, I suppose. The first one you can see on your screen here, by the way, I do have Hearthstone open, so if I need to reference cards. There we go. I intentionally turned off the sound because last time, I don't know, the sound has always been a bit weird for me. Because I use 2 sounds. I use Audacity and I use my recording program, and it always ends up kind of funky. Hopefully, at least if it's funky, it's not too bad. Let's start. Intone. Choose an enemy minion, shuffle it into your deck. So this is really interesting, because to an extent, I hear people calling power creep already, because of recycle. Shuffle an enemy minion into your opponent's deck, right? This is essentially the same thing. You're shuffling an enemy minion into your deck. The wording's a little different, so I'm not sure if they're going to change recycle, but this is objectively a much better card. The difference is, like, Priest has always been known for having really good removal, right? So what I imagine is that this is just another tool for Priest, and let's be honest, Recycle's such a low power card, right? Like, you could easily switch Recycle into a different card, and obviously different classes, different circumstances, it's all very interesting to dig into, but they're trying to make Priest a stronger class is what I take away from this. And one of the ways to do that is just give them really strong cards like this, cards that are objectively better than their predecessors. And ultimately I still don't really see it getting a whole lot of play, maybe in like some kind of Fatigue Priest deck, which I do think will come out because they have another card in here that very much pushes Fatigue, so be ready for that. Elise Starseeker. Ooh, this is the first of 4 legendaries that have been released, all of whom are sort of explorers, I think. At least that's the idea. This one, I don't know about you, but I thought that was a guy at first. But no, Elise, that's very much a girl name, so it's probably a girl. Gender doesn't really matter, does it? Let's be real. So you shuffle the map of the Golden Monkey. It's a weird quest that I would recommend looking into on your own, but the first thing you have to recognize is that it's extremely slow, right? And if you saw this guy's Toast video, what happens is that she shuffles a card called Map of the Golden Monkey in your deck, and that shuffles a card called the Golden Monkey into your deck. Maybe I can just pull it up. Of the Golden Monkey. And basically, it's extremely slow, but when you get the Golden Monkey, you shuffle it into your deck, draw a card, and then the Golden Monkey itself is like a super, like, power card. Obviously, it's really slow, and it promotes, like, control-y style play, and if you ever just get both of them off, it should be, really strong. Let me actually see what the Golden Monkey does, because I forgot. I know it's really good, that's it. Golden Monkey, here we go. Minion. Hearthstone, thank you for coming to my rescue. Replace your hand and deck with legendary minions, there you go. So, that's pretty good, let's be real. So, game winning ability. It's just how much of your deck is going to be left when you play it is the real question. I wonder if you can, like, play this in, like, Mill Rogue or something. That'd be kind of cool. You mill all of your opponent's cards, I mean, with, like, Death Lord and that 4/4 card. And then when your opponent runs out of cards, you turn all your hand into the legendaries. Could be fun. Djinn of Zephyrs. Oh, I don't know if I said that nearly correct. No, I didn't even say the first part. It's Jenny. Jenny, how are you today? Jenny, oh my god. Whenever you cast a spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one. So, I'm going to be rather pessimistic and say that this card is not going to see a lot of play. And that's because, there were 2 cards that were released that go by in TGC that go by the name Banner. No. They go by the name of Fiola Lightbane and something else Darkbane. Idis Darkbane, right? And these two I thought would be a huge deal, but it turns out that nobody really wanted to play them, because to make them really work, you needed a lot of buff cards, right? And the Genie of Zephyrs, you can't really see it, it's Idis Darkbane. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. 3 to a random enemy, that's a huge swing, and she's a 3/4, you know, she's super good. But it turns out that running that many buff spells to make Idis Darkbane really powerful can be a bit of a detriment, because you need minions on the board, obviously, and sometimes it can be a little bit slow. Djinn of Zephyrs is even slower. Yeah, you get an even bigger swing, you get to duplicate any card you play. So, like, imagine you play, we're in Paladin, right? We go to Paladin cards. They have, like, all the really strong buffs. So Blessing of Might, double Blessing of Might, that sounds really worthwhile, right? Double, where's the one I'm thinking of? It's the one that gives +4/+4, Blessing of Kings. Alright, if you get double Blessing of Kings, that's really powerful, but it's also 9 mana, right? Even if you play like a 1 mana card, like you play Argent Squire, right? That's really powerful, but also really, really slow. So, yeah, there's Argent Squire, 1/1 Divine Shield, 5/5 Divine Shield, 9/10 without 10 mana. That's pretty powerful, obviously. But seeing how the Sisters work played, I think this is just going to end up being somewhat underwhelming card, though it is thematically very cool. Although, who knows, maybe having 2 more super buff cards will make the buff deck work, and maybe Silent Knight. Alright, Desert Camel. Hello? Screen? Hey, there we go. It's good enough. So, Battlecry put a 1-cost minion from each deck into the battlefield. We've seen this before with Hungry Dragon to an extent, but this is a much more even style. I think this is supposed to be a control card. Just looking at it, 2/4 stat-wise is meant to be trading down, right? It's supposed to be killing 2 1s, it's supposed to kill 3 2s. And honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense, because if you have a lot of slow decks like we're seeing right now, well, not right now. Right now we're sort of seeing the resurgence of Tempo Mage and Face Hunter, right? But before, when we were seeing a lot of rather slow decks, people just didn't play 1 mana cards, like straight up. Like Warrior would have their Whirlwind, and I mean, some people would run the 2/1, the Argent Squire, like Zoo and Flame Imp and stuff. But with Desert Camel, right, like you can deal with Argent Squire, you can deal with Flame Imp. There's like 1/3s that you can't deal with, right? But Desert Camel, generally, I think it makes an advantage for you if you're a control deck. Because the main reason you would play a 1-drop, right, isn't necessarily because it's good stats. Although Zombie Chow's a thing, I don't know. The real problem with this card is that if you ever play it against a Zombie Chow, I think it just loses because it trades with Zombie Chow, right? So, I don't know, it's an interesting card. I honestly think it's made for Hunter decks, mainly because, oh, you know what you could do? You could Unleash the Hounds with this. That could be interesting. Desert Camel, Unleash the Hounds combo. Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Has combo potential, it's a beast. Definitely a solid 3-drop, which is always nice for people who are new at the game but want to enjoy the adventures, you know? And then they get this Desert Camel, it's just a solid 3-drop minion. Put it in all their Hunter decks, why not? Eerie Statue, this is gonna be a fun one, I can tell you that right now. 4 mana 7/7. I don't know if they release one of these, like if there's a requirement of Blizzard to release a high risk, high reward card every season. Because last season, right? Not every season, but every expansion. Because last time we had the one and only, I hate that, Fell Reaver. Da, 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 da. Right? We also have, of course, the Core Hound, which is somewhere around her. We have the Druid, the Beast guy, right? The Druid of the Fang. These crazy high value minions that can win you the game. But this one I think has a much weaker effect. Can't attack unless it's the only minion in the battlefield. That includes your minions, so unless you're a freeze mage and you're basically only playing spells, there's not really a good reason to not run this. It's cool thematically, but I feel like if you don't have board control elements at all, you wouldn't run this, if that makes sense. Because, say you're a deck like freeze mage, and you don't play cards that... You don't play minions at all, right? You play Mad Scientists, and you play Doomsayers, and Explosive Sheeps, and Archmage Antonidas and Alexstrasza, right? That's all of your minions. You don't really have board control ever, so if you play this, it'll just die to the board, or your opponent can just ignore it. The reason that 7/7 can be really good is because it trades so well. They can kill like 4 or 5 minions. Not even 4 or 5, just like 2 or 3 minions, right? And being able to have that much power in a decently low mana is really powerful. But if you're not attacking minions, then what are you attacking, right? So, yeah, this is like way, way worse than Fel Reaver. So, I don't think it'll see any play. Ooh, Tomb Pillager. Can I just say, I really like... Oh my god, what have I done? What is going on? Okay, hold on. That was awkward. Tomb Pillager, right? Oh, by the way, if you're not sure what Druid of Fang does, it's if you have a beast on the board, transform this minion into a 7/7, so 5 mana 7/7, very similar to a 4 mana 7/7, which is why I'm referencing it. Oh, I just realized you could silence this. Oh my god, silence Druid deck incoming. Okay. Oh god, I did not want to enlarge that. Tomb Pillager. Add a coin to your hand. Like I said before, I really like the way they've done the rogue cards this time around, and that they all sort of give you combo potential, but it's a very slow type of combo potential. So I think we're going to see a lot more rogue burst, as frustrating as it is, but you're going to see a lot more setup for the rogue burst, and you're going to be able to keep track of what's in their hand a little bit better. So for example, this one's 4/5/4. Death rattle out a coin to your hand. So we kind of have to realize that Cut Purse, which is the rogue minion, that's a 2/2 that I might not have. Here it is. Cut Purse, whenever this minion attacks a hero, add a coin to your hand, was a really cool idea, and a lot of people experimented with it because having a coin as rogue is awesome. It's just such an easy enabler for combo. The thing is, you just weren't able to consistently get Cut Purse. The only way you could ever get Cut Purse to work is if you hit it behind a Death Lord or Sludge Belcher, right? Behind a taunt. And even then, sometimes it would just get like frost bolted off the map. So it was incredibly difficult to get this to work, partially just because it was too big. So instead, Tomb Pillager aims to fix that by just guaranteeing you 1 coin, instead of guaranteeing you infinite value, right? Not guaranteeing you, but providing the potential for infinite value, which I think is much more attractive, right? It's the juggler battle, right? If this system could work, oh my god. The Knife Juggler versus Flame Juggler value. Knife Juggler has the potential to be incredible, right? After you summon a minion, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Oh my god, I love dealing damage to an enemy. Or you can play Flame Juggler, deal 1 damage to a random enemy, and it's a battle cry, so it only happens once. You have guaranteed value versus potentially infinite value. Knife Juggler is a lot easier to get off than Cut Purse, of course, but regardless, Tomb Pillager I'm expecting to be a really strong card for like a mid-range or combo-oriented rogue, or even control rogue when you want to get off your, what's it, the Shotopan? Shotopan Rider? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, combo game plus figure attack. Play your Tomb Villager, coin Shotopan, weapon up, I don't know. See here, Tomb Spider, discover a beast. I keep having to like tab into Hearthstone, so that's why I'm like running back and forth all over the place. Pretty straightforward card. It's weird that it's 4 mana, right? But I think what's really cool is that it's neutral, and I bring that up because Druid and Hunter both want to be making use of Beast synergies. But if they do, I don't think they'll use this card, right? You have plenty of good, not plenty of good, but you have enough good Beasts. The problem with Beast decks, I've made a few Beast decks. I'm not even going to show you. I don't want to tab out because I'm not going to stay on this for very long. I don't think it's a good card. It's too weak as a 3/3. To be fair, even if it was like a 4/4, I don't think it would be that good. Actually, it might be good. 4/4 draw a card. Essentially, that's probably okay. But 4 mana 3/3 draw a card is just well, it dies too easily. Let's put it that way. With Fiery War Axe just being everywhere, Priest just killing everything. With their 3/6 Guardian nonsense, like this does nothing on the board. And chances are, even in a really slow scenario, you have Beast in your hand that will be a lot better than a random Beast, right? Keep in mind, the V Discover mechanic is not from your deck. It's just random Beasts. It'll give you random Beasts and then you pick one. Yeah. If you've not seen me talk about Discover mechanic, I believe I talked about it in the intro. Oh my god, maybe it's my mouse? What is going on with the craziness of the back and forth? Unearth Raptor. Before I say anything else, again, I really like the design of the card, and I like the, look at this art, right? Oh, you can't see it very well. Let me see if I can, oh well, you can look at it like this. Look at that art, that looks so cool. I love the little horn. It's got this crazy backed arch thing. It's kind of menacing. It's a really cool card. I have always been a fan of dinosaur, museum-y type stuff, so this is really cool to see. Oh goddamn. Get out of here. Unearth Raptor, good thing I have the volume off. Battlecry, choose a friendly minion, gain a copy of its Death Rattle effect. So Death Rattle has always been a somewhat slow mechanic, and because of that, they've been pushing it literally every single expansion ever, right? They had the Feign Death, they had that Shaman card, the Reincarnate, they have Resurrect. Resurrect Priest is going to be a lot better, I think. It's not going to be a lot better, but it's going to be pushed a little bit. A Death Rattle Rogue is interesting. Because imagine the value of a 3 mana 3/4 Sylvanas, right? Or just any sort of Death Rattle effect can be really powerful in a control rogue style setting. The only real problem that I see is that if we look at rogues cards, you don't have any good Death Rattles, right? What do you even have in a rogue that has Death Rattle? Maybe something I don't have? I don't have Burgle? Really? Hold on, I gotta craft 2 Burgle. I don't really play rogue. I have so many golden cards, I want to disenchant some of these. Do I have a golden Burgle? Yo, we gotta make a rogue deck soon, I'm telling you. But yeah, there's not really Death Rattle in the rogue. I guess there's a Nubarak, which is kind of cool, admittedly. Nubarak Unearth Raptor combo. But that's so much mana, you would never pull that off realistically. So you have to pull from the neutral minion pool, which would be the gnome. Oh my god, I hate this system. So it would have to be things like New Rubian Egg, it would have to be things like Harvest Golem. You could do Piloted Shredder, that's a pretty good one. Sylvanas. I think it's a really strong card is what I'm trying to get at, and I think it's going to push a new archetype really hard because it's so much stronger than Feign Death. It's, I think, arguably stronger than Resurrect because it can be played on an empty board. It's arguably stronger than Feign Death because it doesn't need minions to combo with to be good, right? And yeah, just overall really strong card. Wobbling Runts. It's a cute card. I actually enjoy the design of this one because you see this and it's oh my god, the value, right? That's 3 2/2s. Think about it for a second. That is not a 2/6, that is an 8, 12. Insane value. It's just that it's only got 2 attack. And the problem, I think, is that Death Rattle, you don't really guarantee that the minion dies, in a sense. Because they can just kill you. It's kind of the problem with a lot of these minions that are Death Rattle and not Battle Cry oriented, right? And that's the fact that you can just ignore the minion, and because the Death Rattle is usually pretty good, their normal attacks are pretty weak. And this is something I said back when I was reviewing, where is it? It's the 3 mana, this guy, Argent Horse Rider. 2 attack is not a lot. Let's be realistic here. 2 attack kills Knife Juggler, right? Does it kill Flame Juggler? Well, unfortunately, no. Does it kill... what else do we see? Nerubian, well, it kills Mad Scientist. You know, that's pretty okay. It doesn't kill Mech Warper. Kills, Micro Machine, I guess. Kills, the Annoyatron, kind of. You know? But 2 damage for a lot of decks just isn't enough. It's just not enough. You need bigger stuff with more impact. Silverhand Regent I've seen a good amount of. More in Arena. I've seen Defender of Argus, right? I've seen, not Maiden of Lake. Surprisingly, I've not seen a lot of Maiden. I think it's a good card still. It's just not as strong as people expected. Piloted Shredder, that's a big one. That's in literally every single deck. You can't kill Piloted Shredder and you're at 6 mana, you're just not a very good card, right? And so I think that's what it comes down to. Yeah, it's insane value, but the value doesn't do anything. If it was like a 3/5 and it summoned like 2, 3 3s, card would be amazing. As it stands, 2 attack just doesn't do anything, and you really want to be able to deal with the board somehow, I think. Tunnel Trog. Dun, dun, dun. This is a really cool one, right? Whenever you overload, gain 1 attack. I just realized I don't have my overlay. Whoops. That's okay. I'll just edit it in later, probably. Let's see. How many of these am I going? I'm going to... not you. Going to... I believe this one. I believe I'm going down to Explorer's Hat. So, yeah. Take our time. Might want to hurry it up. This one is a strong one. Tunnel Trog is really, really powerful because, well, you can look at it. Hold on. Sorry, wanted to close my door. Got a text that someone was hearing me. Whenever you overload, gain +1 attack per mana crystal. Keep in mind that this is actually a lot stronger than the previous Shaman. Which one of these is Shaman? There we go, nailed it. This is a lot stronger than Unbound Elemental. Because A, for its base stats, is probably a little bit better. But B, it's per mana crystal. This is whenever you play an overload card. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. It's just really solid 1-drop. You gotta be scared. You gotta be scared of it. It puts a lot of threat. The thing is, I'm a little bit scared because this reminds me a lot of Mana Worm, right? If you've ever played Hearthstone, you've probably died to a Mana Worm at one point. Like a 5/3 Mana Worm, and it's so frustrating because you really don't feel like you can do anything versus that sometimes. But I don't think it'll be as big a deal because Mage has Mirror Image, which is part of why Mana Worm is so frustrating, right? In Tunnel Trog, the cards for Shaman aren't nearly as good, right? You have Lightning Bolt, which is okay. You have Ancestral Knowledge, Stormforge Axe. Actually, that could be pretty good. But overall, it's just it's not as threatening. It will definitely push Shaman up, I think, in terms of like their viability, because this is just overall really good card. Ran Bronzebeard, your Battlecry triggered twice. Pretty straightforward. They're trying to push the Battlecry stuff, which is a little bit risky in my opinion because they just talked about how problematic Charge is, and Battlecry has the same issues as Charge in that there's not really a good way to play around it. but I guess you can just kill this guy off. It's a cool card. I would like to see a battle cry deck go out for experimentation's sake, but I don't know if I want it to be strong. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Curse of Rafan. Give your opponent a curse card. While they hold it, they take 2 damage on their turn. From my understanding, the curse card doesn't really do anything. Let me see if I can actually just Google it. Hearthstone curse card. Curse of Naxxramas, that's not it. Curse of Rafan. I don't know what the cursed cards are. It just costs 2 mana. Oh, but played at the same turn as low tab? That's the combo right there. But yeah, it's just kind of like, if you're trying to slow down your opponent, it's kind of a cool technique. Granted, your opponent could just not play it and just keep on playing good cards for tempo, but I think the idea is just to be, if you're a slow warlock, you have a way to force your opponent to slow down, right? I like it in design, I'll say that much. I just don't know how effective it'll be. It's a cool card, cool concept. It's one that I think you have to build a deck around to work, but regardless, it's very cool. Cursed Blade! Check this out, it's a warrior weapon. Oh my god, when have we gotten one of those, right? They are very careful with their weapon design, and I honestly don't know if they want to release this, because this is a very powerful weapon. I think the breaking point is just that, there's not really a lot that you kill at 2 health that you don't already kill at 1, if that makes sense. Like, in my opinion, Light's Justice is just a way better weapon than Cursed Blade, but who knows, maybe it'll see some play. It's definitely like a powerful card. Even you're a warrior, right? So you might just not care about the damage you take. Trying to think of anything exceptional. 2 damage isn't much, but 3 durability can mean a lot. You know, it's a long-term card. Could even like play Upgrade and do like the Wombo combo. Upgrade's like one of those cards that I always wanted to make work, but there was never really a need for it, right? Because 3 damage and 4 damage, there's not really much difference. So, who knows, maybe this could be a big deal. Imagine that, a 2 mana 3/4 weapon. That's actually insane. That's actually insane. Dark Peddler, pretty straightforward. Battlecry, discover a 1-cost card. This, I think, might actually see a lot of play. In combination with another Warlock card, this, I think, could spawn like a very 1 mana based deck. It seems like they're trying to push Zoo, and here's the thing, 2 mana 2/2 draw card, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Even as like a hero card, right? So I think this will actually see a really good amount of play, even though it's only a 1 mana card, and generally 1 mana cards are low impact. It is kind of slow if you're running a Zoo deck. And it's probably really easy to remove, especially by like Cursed Blade. I don't know. I think it'll be kind of cool. It might even be super powerful with the other card I'm thinking of. Dart Trap. Whenever an opposing hero power is used, deal 5 damage. Fairly straightforward new Hunter Trap. The thing is, it's actually like really powerful. Like, deal 5 damage is really strong, but I think they need that because it's really easy to just not use your hero power, I think. That depends on the class. If you're a rogue, you really rely on your hero power. If you're paladin, I honestly don't think it'll see much play though, because I think it's just too easy to play around. Like, that's something we realized with Bear Trap, right? Bear Trap, people just sort of stopped playing Bear Trap because people realized it's pretty easy to play around Bear Trap, which is... where's Bear Trap? Here it is. 2 mana secret, so after your hero's attack, summon a 3/3. It's got the same problem with Snake Trap, right? When one of your minions is attacked, summon 3/1/1 snakes. Like, yeah, that's really good value, but they can just not attack your minions, right? It's getting to an overwhelming amount of points where if they have like all 3 though, you gotta attack something or you're never gonna win, right? It's a cool idea, Conceptually, I am kind of worried about how many traps you put in the game, right? Because you can't realistically play around all of them. Depends on the meta, I guess. It'll be interesting. Beats up on slow decks a lot. Animated armor, this is a really cool one. For fairly obvious reasons. 4/4 animated armor, your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. Hey, Hunter! How's that hero power doing only 1 damage? What's wrong? Your arm's a little bit chilly there. No, it turns out. This is an interesting card. I think it's something you play in desperation more than as something like it's similar to both Ram Shields, right? In that they basically can never hurt you. But if I'm honest, I actually think both Ram Shield is better than this card, because chances are, even if your opponent's like a hunter with like absolutely nothing left, both Ram Shield gives you like a guaranteed +9 health. Healbot's better than both, it gives you a guaranteed +8 health. If your hunter opponent just doesn't have any steam left, then they're going to only deal 1 damage per turn. It's going to be really tough for them to put in all the damage. Their kill commands can't really mean anything because they have to use their kill commands on this. But that's really the same for any other card you play, any other defensive card you play. So unless some type of mage comes up that's even more defensive than this, it's not going to see play. Anubis Sentinel. Fairly straightforward, 5 mana, 7/7 in a sense, but it's slow. Again, oh actually, it synergizes really well with some of the new Death Rattle stuff, doesn't it? I didn't think about that when I first evaluated. I was thinking like, people don't really play Dark Cultist, why would they play this? I think Dark Cultist is really strong as a card, like stronger than this, so I don't know now. I still don't think it'll be that great. But combined with like some small minions, like combined with like Implosion, it has a lot of potential, right? Ancient Shade, shuffle an Ancient Curse into your deck that deals 7 damage when you draw it. It's a very aggressive card. And I point that out because I am not sure how they expect people to play after his expansion comes out. I think they expect aggressive decks to still be good, but they want to give aggressive decks more varied options. You know, make decisions in your aggressive decks that'll matter in the long run. And Ancient Shade, you might do worse, right? The problem is, Piloted Shredder just beats up on this guy so damn hard. So yeah, it'll be a card that I don't expect to see play, mostly because of Shredder. Maybe they can nerf Shredder. It's not something I think about a lot, whether or not a card needs a nerf. I think Hearthstone, for the most part, is fairly well balanced. But looking at so many of these cards, it's like, but Piloted Shredder, you know? Anything can happen. It's a cool card, I love it, and you should all play 12 copies of your Murloc decks with this card in it. The only real issue is that it's 10 mana, right? And the reason that's an issue is because it's in Paladin, and in Paladin you have your... Where is it? I do have one, right? Divine Favor. Draw as many cards as until you have as many in your hand as your opponent. You're probably going to play this in a Murloc deck, and anything can happen sort of defeats that. It's sort of counteractive, but it's really, really fun, so, you know, YOLO. Anti-Thief for Fawn, not very good, in my opinion, because there are so many more active 9 mana cards, Nefarian, that just don't see play, so don't think it'll see play. This is the card I was talking about when I was talking about Fatigue Priest. You just heal forever, deal 3 damage to all minions, and then maybe your opponent might want to deal 3 damage to all minions. Probably not, because that doesn't sound favorable to them, does it? Yeah, pretty straightforward. It's an interesting that you give your opponent the option, but you can also play around the option because now you know the tools of your opponent, right? So I like it in design. And Explorer's Act. Hey, we have more Death Rattle sort of synergy. Okay. And it's like 4 control hunters and it's slow. You can actually combo with Pyromancer pretty well. Holy. Did you guys realize this? infinite pyro value, except no, your pyro has to die because of death rattle. Okay, never mind. Oh my god, that's actually really important that it says death rattle out of the... Wow. Good job, Blizzard. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you all saw the card you wanted to see. If you didn't, there will be more reviews tomorrow. I'll review the rest tomorrow, so stick around for that. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!